program, friends. Back to Tel Aviv as news warrants. The sun comes up in a few hours, and the Iranians have a decision to make, to mine the Strait of Hormuz or not. At the White House, President Trump also has a few decisions to make. This war is going to come down to who can endure more pain as we look live at Tel Aviv, the theocratic maniacs or the populist legacy seeker in the White House. If you answer that question, I can tell you who will win the war. Bill O'Reilly joins us next on if Trump's political resolve and that of his supporters can outlast the mullahs. Plus, General David Petraeus, U.S. intelligence, says that the Iranians are mining the Strait of Hormuz. The next big challenge: why weren't we prepared for this? Eric Erickson on the battle to succeed Donald Trump, how 2028 is shaping up to be the best season of The Apprentice yet. But first, our Why It Matters segment. The Navy SEALs have a saying: the only easy day is yesterday. Anyone who knows anything about the SEALs and their brutal selection process knows the biggest challenge isn't the icy cold waters, long runs, or sleep deprivation. It is the mental battle and overcoming pressure from SEAL instructors and probably from themselves to ring the iconic bell in the center of camp, signaling that they quit. This war in Iran is a similar test of wills. Ultimately, is a question of which side will ring the bell first. Trump is clearly willing to endure pain, both from the media and from his own party, but ultimately, he wants his legacy to survive, just as the Iranian mullahs want their theocratic regime to survive. All they have to do is outlast Trump. Every day, we hear more about the progress the U.S. coalition is making towards an endgame in Iran. What the U.S. military has done has been nothing short of stunning. Today, for the first time, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said the quiet part out loud.
But ultimately, the operations will end when the commander-in-chief determines the military objectives have been met, fully realized, and that Iran is in a position of complete and unconditional surrender, whether they say it or not. So President Trump will determine when Iran is in a place of unconditional surrender, when they no longer pose a credible and direct threat.
So in layman's terms, the war is over and unconditional surrender has been achieved when Trump says so. That's according to Leavitt. Pete Hegseth and others have been slightly more specific about the goals of the operation.
On day 10 of Operation Epic Fury, we are winning with an overwhelming and unrelenting focus on our objectives. One, destroy their missile stockpiles, their missile launchers, and their defense industrial base, missiles and their ability to make them. Two, destroy their Navy. And three, permanently deny Iran nuclear weapons forever.
Hegseth is right. America is winning militarily. Again, all of this is based on the Pentagon's assessment. For Iran to win, remember, the enemy has a say in battle, Iran just needs to outlast Trump. Trump will only quit when he's sure that his legacy has been bolstered, not hurt by this conflict. And it's unclear when that will be. 55% of Americans are still unconvinced that Iran posed an imminent military threat. And there's a reason for that. We've told you for 2 weeks now, the administration failed to sell the war before starting the war. They failed to make the case to the American people, and now they are suffering the public backlash. America didn't understand this was going to go on for weeks. They weren't prepared for that. And the pain at the pump is real. It'll last for a while. Gas prices are going to come back down. For their part, though, the Islamic Republic is in some ways at an advantage. All the regime must do right now is survive. It is a death cult that believes in the glory of martyrdom. They don't mind sending their people off to die. The only way for President Trump to win a war against an enemy like that is to endure pain and make a good case to the American people why they should endure pain for the gain. Remember that SEAL credo. The only easy day is yesterday, and don't ring the bell.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.